Hi, it's Lisa from A Simple Season, and today we're going to head out to Walmart because I'm going to fill in a few gaps that are in my pantry, so I'm going to take you along with me today. It's just before 7 a.m. and there's hardly anybody on the road, so this is why I love grocery shopping early in the morning. Let's go ahead in and see what we can find. My local Walmart has a really good imported food section, and this is where I get some of my Mediterranean foods from. And one of my favorite things to get here, because the price is definitely the best out of everywhere else in town, is the passata. So this is what I use when I want to make a really good authentic Italian tomato sauce. So I'm definitely going to pick up a few of these and maybe make some tomato sauce with it. And Di Checco is one of my favorite imported pastas. I like the Molizana brand too, but this one has gone up in price. $2.97 now, it used to be $2.27. These fire roasted peppers are really great too. I love having these in my pantry because I will use them as part of a charcuterie board, or I will mix them into some hummus, or I'll chop a couple up, maybe add it to my tomato sauce if I feel like it that day. And at $1.97, that's not a bad deal at all, so I'm going to pick up a few of these. These juices are also really delicious by this company called Vita Sana, and this is the pear nectar, and this one costs $2.97. There's also an apricot and a peach, and they're both very good. The pear is definitely my favorite, and these are also a little bit less money at $2.57 each. I really like this Melita coffee, and this is a great deal for my area at $10.97. The normal price is $13.97, and let's have a look at the expiry. It looks like it doesn't expire until March of 2023, so that's pretty good. And I've had good luck with these. I've used these probably 6 months past the Best Buy date, and it's been just fine. Now here is something that is for sure an acquired taste, but I really love it, and this is rose syrup. And what you do with this is you mix a couple of tablespoons in with a glass of milk, or you can pour a little bit over some vanilla ice cream, and it just gives it this really wonderful, exotic, sweet, floral taste to desserts. So I really like it. It's $4.97 for a bottle, which actually isn't too bad. So again, an acquired taste. My husband absolutely hates it, but I love this stuff. Here is the dried bean section, and wow, there's still some available, but it's only about 5 or 6 kinds. Normally there'd be double that. And the beef section is certainly looking a little bit thinner and more expensive. However, if you do come early in the morning, just to mitigate those higher costs a little bit, sometimes you can find those discounted packages and you can save, 25-30%. So it's definitely worth it for that. I also see this food saver here, this Cuisinart one, and it's $149.97. And they also have the bags to go with it here. It looks like they're on sale for $39.46 from $43.96, so they're a few dollars off. But I also noticed that they've got this other brand here called Seal a Meal, and it's considerably less. I mean, it's $71.97, so I mean, pretty much half price. And then they also have the bags here for $15.97. So I don't know if anybody's tried this, and maybe you can let me know what it's like, but I've often thought about getting one of these units, but I'm just not really sure if it's worth it to pay for the Cuisinart or get the off-brand. So if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. This is everything I got today to fill in the gaps that were missing in my pantry, because they're just things that I've been using, and I'll show you a couple of extra things that I picked up on my way out of the store as well. One of the other things I got is this traditional Italian polenta, and this is made out of cornmeal. So it's pre-cooked, it's all ready to go. All you do is just slice it up into rings, and you just heat up a little bit of oil in a fry pan and brown it on each side. Or you can broil it in the oven. And if you caramelize some onions and put that on the top, oh wow, it is so delicious. And you can put tomato sauce on these. It's like everything. So it's so good. So I really like to have these on hand. I bought some taralli as well, and if you don't know what taralli are, they're just like these little bread rounds, and they're kind of a cross between like a cracker and a crouton, and you can just have them with salads or cheese or just eat them on their own. They're so yummy. I do go through quite a few of these. I also picked up a few cans of clam chowder. They did have a limit of 4, so that's how many I got. We don't eat this a lot, but once every couple of months we will have this for lunch, and I will usually use this soup as a base. So I just find there are not really a lot of clams in here, so what I'll do is I'll take 2 cans of soup and I will add a whole can of clams to it, and then that turns it into a really nice meal. I also bought some of these Vietnamese rice papers, and they're just these little rounds made out of rice, and what you do is you just soak them in warm water for 5 or 10 seconds, and then they become soft, and then you can fill them with chicken or shrimp and some lettuce, grated carrot, and then just roll them up, and it just makes for a really nice healthy meal. So I think we'll use some of this passata today to make a really good authentic Italian tomato sauce. This is everything that we're going to need to make our Italian tomato sauce. I have 2 bottles of our strained tomatoes, or our passata. I have pepper, salt. This is about 1/3 of a cup of chopped basil, and if you don't have chopped fresh basil, you can also use a bit of pesto. So I have both, so I'm going to use both. This is 3 cloves of garlic chopped. This is 1 medium onion chopped, and a little bit of olive oil, and that's all we need. So I put in about 3 tablespoons of olive oil over medium heat in my pan, and I've just heated that up. So now I'm going to add my onions and cook those until they start to lightly brown. Then I'm going to add my garlic. Our onions have been cooking for about 7 minutes, and they're starting to look pretty good. So now I'm going to add in our 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put in our 1/3 of a cup of basil leaves. I'm going to throw in about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a few shakes of pepper, and I also have a little bit of basil pesto here. And as I said, if you don't have basil pesto, you don't have to use it. You can just use the regular basil, or you can use both if you want. But I have both, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to add about a teaspoon or so of basil pesto. Give all of that a good stir. We'll put in our 2 bottles of passata. And there's always a little bit left in the bottom of these, so what I like to do is just put in a little tiny bit of water and give it a little shake and pour the rest of that in there so that nothing gets wasted. Now that we have all of our ingredients in here, just give it a stir and bring it up to a boil for about 20 to 30 minutes and give it a little taste for salt and pepper to see if you like that, and it'll be done. If you think it's a little bit too thin, just let it boil a little longer. If it's too thick for your liking, just add a bit of water. It's very, very versatile that way. And let me tell you, the smell of this cooking for me is so nostalgic, because this is the way my mom made tomato sauce for years, and her mother before her, and her mother before her. So this goes back generations. And you can serve this, of course, over pasta, but you can put it over polenta. You can add meat to it. If you've got leftover roast beef, you can chop it up and put it in there. This is fabulous on its own, or you can use it as a base to add other things to it. So, wow, this is fantastic. This has been simmering for about a 1/2 hour now, and this is the consistency that I like it. So basically when I pick it up with the spoon, it kind of clumps off. It doesn't run off the spoon. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but you can kind of see it's kind of coming off in clumps. So that's about the thickness that I prefer. You might like it a little bit different, so you adjust that to your taste. But this is a fantastic sauce right now. Oh my goodness, this smells incredible. And this is going to taste amazing on my pasta tonight. Thanks so much for joining in and keeping me company while I filled a few gaps in my pantry. And though some things were more expensive, I did find some really great deals too. So I think that's just the way it's going to have to be going forward, is just keeping an eye out for those deals and stocking up on those when we see them and taking advantage of those lower prices when we see them. And thanks also for letting me share my heirloom Italian tomato sauce with you. It's so fun to make, and the house smells incredible when I make it. So hopefully you'll give it a try and love it as much as we do, and we'll catch you next time.